Hi, I'm Mike, and this is Characterizing LEDs. Now, if you want to use LEDs well, you need to know the characteristics of the LEDs that you're working with. But if you don't have the data sheet, you need to get an empirical characterization, and I'm going to show you how to do that with some simple tools, including a multimeter and a spreadsheet. Okay, so in order to do this, I'm going to set myself up a little test rig here, and you can see I've got a little breadboard so that I can plug in my LED. I've got a 9-volt battery, and I've got my meter set up with my leads plugged into that breadboard. So right now I'm reading 9.39 volts, and that's the open circuit voltage on this battery. I also have a giant pile of random resistors which I'm going to use to set up my characterization. Now I've gone out and dug up a green, a yellow, and a blue LED that were just laying around. I have no idea who manufactured these. I'm just going to take some readings and see if I can get a usable characteristic off of these. Okay, so now I'm on yellow. I've got a 910 ohm resistor in there. I've got 7.93 milliamps. And now I'm going to rearrange this to get the voltage. Switch my meter to voltage. Plug my lead in for voltage. Complete my circuit this way. And grab the voltage off the top of that LED. 1.92 volts. So now, let's switch from the 910. I'm going to plug in a 390. Because that's what happens to be laying around. There we go. 2.04-ish. Put down 2.037. Looks like that's fairly settled. Now, I'll switch back over to measure current. $17.97 milliamps. And I'm going to keep repeating this for several values of resistors to get several different voltage and current points. Now you could graph these on graph paper and get a rough idea, but I'm going to go ahead and throw this into Excel so that we can ask it for a value. So here you can see what I came up with. I went ahead and threw in the raw data from the green, yellow, and blue LEDs. I've got voltage and current, 5 points for each one. I went in and did an XY plot for each of those, and then I did an exponential trend line, which is going to be pretty similar to the characteristic you expect to see for each of these LEDs. This is a useful way to do this if you have a large lot of LEDs that you want to use, but you're not exactly sure what the characteristic is because there was no data sheet with it, or if you're hacking a device and you want to reuse some of the display stuff but you're not sure exactly how the LEDs in the display operate. So I hope you found this useful, and as always, if you have any questions, please leave them as comments and subscribe to my channel. Happy hacking!